Hello, everyone. First, I want to say thank you to inviting me for such a cool conference. I'm really glad to stay here and tell you some new stuff which you might do not know. But you will learn after my presentation, and yeah, let's have some fun. I'm going to talk about why we would ever need to React a web AR and what the web AR means. My name is ANASTASIIA MIROSHNICHENKO, as was told, and I'm a WebXR developer at St. Elmo's in Berlin. You can follow me on Twitter, so you can make a photo of that. It might be useful for later. Yeah, I work at St. Elmo's. We are 200 professionals, and we are working all around Germany, in Munich, in Hamburg, in Berlin, and we are specializing on experimental content. We are mixing the brand storytelling with multi-reality experience. And as I said, our main goal is to make a multi-reality storytelling and experiential content for our clients. So let me tell you my story. I started working at St. Elmo's in 2015 as a front-end developer, and I was developing all these websites, emails, banners, like whatever the client needs. And it was very boring. Then one day my CTO, Kevin Prosel, came to me and said that, hey, we are going to try something new. We will enter the world of augmented reality. And at that point, our company has already some experience with application-based augmented reality, like, for example, HoloLens technology from Microsoft. Thanks. Yeah, but as a front-end developer for myself, I would be responsible for a web. And I said, what? Okay, so I start doing the research. I will not really teach you how to write a React. You know it much better than me. So I will mainly focus on 3D graphics and augmented reality. So let's take a look what is web augmented reality means and how it works. Do you remember when the hologram seems to us like a far, far away future which might not be even happen to us? Yeah, this is Princess Leia from Star Wars, which appears in 1999. But the good news for us that the future is really happening now. And the emerging technologies offering us completely new possibilities like holographic tools, experiences, and they will absolutely change the way we communicate. HoloLens 2, thanks, Microsoft. Yeah, but here we are facing with a new problems. Not everyone can afford to buy a headset, and not everyone will upload an application for his phone because it's a problem of a friction. Because you need to get a phone to go to the App Store or a Google Play Market, download an application, install it, and then just run it to see a small 3D animations overlaying your real world. It's quite complicated and not even everyone will do that. And here, web AR comes for help. How many of you have your phones in the hands right now? Yeah, this is the key for the frictionless augmented reality on the web. And let me show you one film. Okay, so WebAR, I want to point, happens in mobile browser. So it's absolutely the same web page as a regular HTML, CSS, and a JavaScript. So you will be all familiar with it. The only difference is that now we have work not with a 2D graphics, but with a 3D graphics. So everything in web graphics starts from WebGL. And it is based on an OpenGL library and uses an HTML5 canvas element. The primitive of graphics cards is a triangle. So everything is built with a small triangles. And let me show you how to develop this one small triangle. Okay, you are all developers, so you will understand my pain when I first saw it. So first we need to create a canvas element. Then using the JavaScript, we get the canvas and get the context of it. And after that, things becomes pretty complicated very fast. Yeah. If you don't mind, we will not dive deeper because it will take forever to explain what is what. But we cannot develop in this way, right? So luckily for us, a lot of cool guys already developed a framework that helps us to develop the web AR much faster and easier. It's like a FreeJS, A-Frame, Play Canvas, and Babylon.js. I will focus on an A-Frame because it's pretty easy to develop. And it's an entity component framework for using a FreeJS underhood, and it's an open source, and you can create any 3D scenes in your web environment. This will be our basic example, which I will show you how to develop, and it's a 3D spinning red cube. So, how about React, right? I will show you this example using the React. So first, what you will need to do, yes, you will need to React create app or wherever you want, and then you just install A-Frame and A-Frame for React. But what is it, A-Frame React? So deployed release the same day as an A-Frame. A-Frame React is a thin bridge between A-Frame and React, helping to export A-Frame components into React. So I will show you more about this. So let's take a look at the code. First, we have a setup pretty common for all of you, and then first we need to add a scene component. Scene component will contain all entities we would need in a 3D. So here we will set up a box using a primitive box. You can also use a circles, planes, torus, wherever. Also here with a material, we can set up a color. You can also use an image material or shaders. And we set up a position, x to 0, y to 1.6, and z minus 3. You might ask why such weird numbers, right? Okay, if we will position by default our cube on 0, 0, 0, it will appear for us on a floor. Why? Because A-Frame is a framework for developing virtual reality for headsets. So they think that the elements need to appear in the haze of a human eye. Yeah, okay, which is 1.6. Okay, we place it 1.6 and we cannot see nothing. Why? Because it appears on a 0 position by Z, and it's the same position for a camera. So you are actually staying inside of a cube. So that's why we put -3 to move it out a bit. And finally, you can see it. And here we will add rotation animation, set up rotation property duration of 5 seconds, looping, and where in degrees, and easing. And finally, yes, let's add some lights just to make our cube more attractive and have some lightning on faces when it will rotate. So here is it. Just few lines of code and we already have a 3D cool cube appearing on our website. Is that cool? But what next? Finally, you're all here for augmented reality, right? So let's show you how to place our cube into the real world. To do that, first we need to define a specific requirements of our project. We might want appear our 3D element on a marker, yeah, using very thin black Bojas markers, or we want to place it on any recognizable surface by a tab. To develop it, luckily we have very powerful libraries like ARJS and HSwall. ARJS is the simplest way to get an augmented reality on a browser because it's an open source, it's free, and it supports all mobile devices not older than 4 years. Like basically all the devices who's supporting WebGL. And it's possible just because it's a marker based. So this is a hero marker, it's a default marker. And markers is some kind of simplified QR codes. So every time when the camera of a phone recognize a marker, Canvas draws some 3D experience on top of it. And you can modify those markers, like placing inside, for example, logo or QR code with a link to your website. But unfortunately, ARJS is a very young project and it's not a React module. So you will not be able to NPM AR into your React environment. But maybe some of you will help us and develop it because it's really needed. Okay, so at that point, we will separate our React and AR. I will tell you for what React we need a bit later. So we will place all our code, I know it's not very nice, in index.html file. And first, what we need to do, we need to add a libraries manually, yeah, a link to A-Frame and to ARJS. Then we will place here absolutely the same setup we used to place in a React before, but it's an HTML. So let's use async tags and an entity tag, and properties are set as an attributes. Yeah, all the same. Primitive box, color red, position, and rotation. And here, to add our augmented reality, we need to call our ARJS script, and we enter the embedded attribute. Embedded attribute will remove the full screen canvas styles from your page. And finally, we set up a marker. The default marker is hero. And we add a camera. And this is it. Just a few lines of code, and now our cube is appearing rightly on top of our marker. And this is an example how you can develop it with a React. For example, we need a React as I told, but we mostly need it for user interface. We need to develop logo, like hints, buttons and all of this user experience logic which will go like after augmented reality. You can also add like buttons to make a screenshots, sharing buttons and whatever. Okay. But not everyone will like using the markers because they are not very pretty beautiful. But what are the other solutions? And I will introduce you image targets. Thanks to the guys from the 8th wall, we use in images, and camera can recognize them and place a 3D object on top of it. 8th wall is very powerful technologies from guys in Palo Alto, and they are using its own SLAM engine, simultaneous localization and mapping. And it uses features including 6 degrees of freedom tracking, surface estimation, lighting, heat tests, world points. And the 8th wall could be very easily integrated into A-Frame, FreeJS, Babylon.js, or even Amazon Sumerian environment. And to get started, you just need to go to a website, request a trial period, because unfortunately, this stuff is not free. It's free for co-development in your local environment, but if you would like to upload it into the world, you will need to pay for a license. So, WebXR shows us that it's not necessary to download an applications, that everything happens in the native browser. No applications which user will not use it or will uninstall it just to see if some poor animations. It's for everyone, because every one of you has a phone, has a browser, so it's easy accessible, and it's frictionless. The only thing you need to do is to scan a QR code, open it in your browser, and enjoy the experience. And it's very wide scope of usage. Like, for example, in advertising, you can advertise. You can place a product in front of you before you buy it, or you can try a new makeup or new shoes, wearing them. You can place a sofa in your room, like in IKEA applications. Now you can make it on web. You can add some additional informations to a magazine or books. Like, for example, if you're going to a shopping and you want to know something more about the product you want to buy, you just scan a QR code and go to a website to see a video story about that. Or, for example, you can use it in educational features, like for example, you can hover your phone onto some paintings and see how this art was created step by step. Or you can place a hologram of Elvis Presley play you a concert, which is also very cool. So with augmented reality for a web, you make the invisible visible. And vielen Dank.